Hello everybody and welcome back to program number 2, becoming a blind woodturner. So this is a series really aimed at blind and visually impaired people that might want to start woodturning or might want to just progress to the next level or need some helpful hints. So I hope whoever you are, you take something away from these programs and it improves your hobby, your art form, your craft, and yeah, it just makes you an all-round better turner. So anyway, as promised, today we are going to talk about health and safety. Ooh, health and safety. Pretty boring subject, a lot of people think, and some people just get really anal about it. But make no bones about it, it is super crucial, especially if you're turning with a disability. So the first thing we're going to say is face and eye protection. Okay, so just because we are blind doesn't mean we shouldn't be protecting our eyes. I still have feeling in my eyes, and I certainly wouldn't want anything stuck in them, you know, whether or not it's a splint or a fragment of wood or it's dust, whatever, you know, just completely uncomfortable. And certainly if you're working with bigger pieces of work or turning at faster speeds, you certainly need to be having full face protection as well, because likewise we don't want a broken nose, a cut face, you know, injuries to the head and surrounding area. I personally know people that have just taken things for granted and just been in that, oh, just one more cut before lunch, and they've been clobbered and knocked on the backsides and had concussion and severe facial injuries. And I have even heard of people receiving fatal head injuries doing this sort of stuff. So what have we got here? Very basic, full face shield. It's from Axeminster Tools. They're not very expensive. So it's got a headband that's adjustable, and it covers your eyes, your face, pretty much from forehead down to just below your chin. Great bit of kit. You can get replaceable visors if one does get damaged. And yeah, essential. And just to the right of this, we have a simple pair of safety glasses. Now, sometimes when I am just pen turning, I will wear just safety glasses, because even if that pen blank does decide to let loose, you know, you might, if something does make it to the face area, you know, you're probably just going to feel like you've been flicked very hard in the face. So sometimes I do wear safety glasses. You know, it is down to you to know what to use, what is appropriate for that given situation. It is down to you. I am just making suggestions and recommendations here, but we all know vitally important. So as a progression of these eye and face protections, there are things out there that can also incorporate some breathing protection. So still sticking really with face protection, I have this one here now. It's a JSP from Axeminster. So it feels like almost a set of ski goggles, and impact rated, very safe, ventilated, but it also has a built-in dust mask with a valve. So it's all in one, and it's just a different style. There are lots of different makes and manufacturers and brands out there. Please get stuff that is rated and up to the job. You can get them in varying degrees of performance. So you've got that one there. It feels like you could be at a rave in the 1990s, that. And then also, it depends on budget. So here is another fully enclosed face protection and respirator combo. This is the Axeminster Power Cap. So it has a built-in battery-powered canister respirator. So the filters are replaceable, the face screen is replaceable, fully enclosed, very comfortable, keeps you cool on a hot summer's day whilst you're turning. getting a bit more expensive there as well, but you get what you pay for, and I like to say buy cheap, buy twice. Great system, very comfortable. It has got a built-in hard hat as well, so you are really getting top-notch level of protection there. So different ways there of protecting your eyes and your face and your lungs, and sticking with the breathing side. Behind me here I have got a dust extractor with a flexible 4-inch pipe, and that is held just on the lathe with a magnet, so I can move that wherever it's needed when you're sanding. So dust extraction systems can be expensive. You can have them, you know, like just the can vac here. You can have the big cyclone systems, which are, you know, big, and they're on wheeled trolleys. You can get the roof mounted filter systems like a cabinet, which is secure to your ceiling. Again, it's down to budget, but you have to be using something. And then pretty much we're going to flip right down now to the cheap end of the scale, and what we have here is the ordinary dust masks, very cheap, disposable, pretty much single use. But again, if you've got nothing at all and you're waiting to build up some money to get started, they are better than nothing. Absolutely better than nothing. And I've also got here a relic of the pandemic, really. It's a cloth face mask, almost like a cloth surgical face mask, but this is one that has a little sleeve at the back, and then we got a packet of charcoal filters. So depending on the weather, the heat, the application, I can mix and match. And also if I have someone visiting, I've got something pretty much clean and ready to go, and always something for someone to wear if they're in the workshop with me. Again, if you're, you know, like me, there's a fair bit of filming and I have some film crews here, you need to be able to offer them some protection. So really, really important. Can't stress how important it is protecting your eyes and your lungs. And yeah, depending on your budget, you can go either entry level or, yeah, sky's the limit, but you need something most definitely. And then let's talk about a turning smock now. So a turning smock, again, I find that essential because I find I don't have any allergies, and I don't get really irritable or scratchy skin or rashes per se from wood, but it can itch when it gets stuck, or you're hot and you've got a bit sweaty. It just scratches, so that takes my mental focus away from what I am doing, whereas a turning smock will help prevent that. It's got the pockets around the back, so not only have you got somewhere to store, you know, a brad awl, a scratch awl, a wire brush, some abrasives, a bit of tissue, you know, out the way, free of shavings and accessible, but also, you know, you've got something to keep your clothes pretty clean, one less thing to walk into the house. And yeah, if you're blind and you're getting into wood turning, you might find getting covered in sawdust if you haven't got a smock a bit of a distraction. So smocks, very handy. And of course, you know, the smocks, the long sleeve smocks with the Velcro cuffs, you know, keep everything nice and tight and out of the way, which again is really helpful, very safe. You don't want anything getting in contact with any moving parts on the lathe. And that leads me to removing wedding rings, bracelets. Certainly if you're right-handed like me and your left hand is the one that's closest to the tool rest and the spinning work, remove any rings and bracelets. If you're right-handed, you know, or even if you're left-handed and you've got a watch, put it on your right hand, get it as far away as you can from your work. Any long hair, tie back, no dangling necklaces, you know. And as my beard gets longer, I will start to make or take precautions rather to keep that safe. Either tuck it into my smock or fling it over my shoulder when it gets Gandalf length. So really important. Also, overall safety. So I have here, and I have to have this because I am accredited with the Register of Professional Turners. It's important that I maintain attain and maintain the high standards that is required of accredited professionals. So I have got a first aid kit here, so if I am teaching, which I am tomorrow, I've got a blind student tomorrow in fact, if you're teaching you've got a first aid kit, and that includes eye wash station, okay, and it's clearly marked for any sighted students. I've got an accident book, nothing in it as of yet, touch wood, thank you very much. And then over here I have got fire extinguisher, so multi-purpose, it's in pressure, it's in date, so you remember to check that. So yeah, all these things, you know, will go to help, you know, you stay vigilant, tackle, you know, most eventualities, God forbid they do happen, and also, you know, if something does go awry, you have got the means to deal with it in the very first instance. I've not been turning today, so I've just got my Skechers on. When I am turning, I always wear steel toe cap boots in the workshop. They keep you warm. If you're going to drop a piece of wood or a tool, guaranteed they're going to go pointy side first and probably bounce into your foot. So again, suitable footwear. It's safe. It'll have a good sole, you know, and it's resistant to chemicals and spillages, and it just in general makes for a safer, more comfortable turning experience. You know, at the end of the day, we want to be keeping up with this hobby, art, profession, you know, as long as we can. And if you've certainly got an injury that prohibits you from work, you know, that stops you generating income, you know, it's painful, you know, you're to and from the bloody hospital, excuse my French, and, you know, yeah, it's just a nightmare, and we don't want it, you know, flipping it, we've got enough going on in our lives, all of us, disabled or not, you know, let alone with an injury. So I'm just trying to think now. I've covered some footwear, face and eye protection, lungs, a turning smock, really helpful, first aid kits, fire extinguishers, accident book. You might be able to see over there as well, over the door again for the sighted people. You know, there's only one way in and out of my workshop, but it is clearly marked in the event of an eventuality. And, you know, be vigilant as well when you're turning. You know, if you can smell something happening, you know, or hear something happening, you know, turn power off, stop what you're doing, try and assess what's going on and get help if you need to, if you're struggling to pin down the particular problem. Luckily, we are fully, you know, integrated here as far as tech goes, so I can get in touch with Nicola either via intercom technology or with my phone. So make sure people know if you're blind, you know, where you are, and then, you know, they know that you're in your workshop turning. And, you know, and that's not to say they've got to keep an eye on you and be, oh, they're mollycoddling. We don't want that. But, you know, as long as they know where you are and I'm going in the workshop for a few hours, you know, people know where you are and what you're up to. Obviously, there are other things like keep your tools nice and sharp. A dull, blunt tool, you'll start forcing it. You know, your work will be shoddy for a start off. But, you know, you're pushing cuts and applying incorrect forces and pressures on things, you know, again, a potential hazard. So keep your tools nice and sharp. Keep yourself covered, protected, head to toe when you can. I know it can be difficult in very hot weather, but, you know, you can always have the door open. Get as much ventilation as you can, fresh air. Take breaks as well. You know, remember to stop, you know, after a grueling session, have a sit down, have a coffee or a cup of tea, have a walk around, and I would definitely invest in some of the rubber anti-fatigue matting. So in all my crucial areas, I've got one down there near the tarmac, here at my main pottering about assembly area, one here if I'm using either of the either the Precision Pro lathe or the MIDI lathe I've got there, and then another one over there. So another way of keeping the fatigue down. I suffer with terrible knee joints as well, and the difference it makes is it's noticeable. Being on some anti-fatigue matting, I feel much more comfortable and in less pain when I'm stood on the anti-fatigue matting. So that's pretty much it really. Keep your workshops nice and safe and tidy. Put everything back when you're finished with it. After each project, I would recommend a complete thorough reset, tidy up, back to default, trip hazards, everything gone. And then next project, you've got a clear mind. You can get your hands on all your equipment, which should be stowed away on walls, racks, clips. Do not have them just clattering and falling over everything. You know, be mindful of your environment if you're blind, and make sure it's an efficient and effective workspace. And this will come through in your work as well. It's one less thing to worry about. So anyway, there you go. Time's up, folks. And I'll catch you on program 3. Bye.